One came out of the water right by the boat. So he might be swimming with us. I'm going to keep my camera on. There he is. I can see him just below the surface. I see him just below the surface. Oh my gosh, we haven't had this before. We've heard of people that they ride along with them, but we haven't had this before. There he is. Oh, he's sideways. Upside down. He's swimming upside down. Okay, now there's more dolphin. That's a big one. Wow. Guess he went and got his friends. We stayed 3 nights at the new Marina in Steinhatchee. They have a wonderful patio with a bar, nice bar. We met the owners, and the people that work there were wonderful. We saw some beautiful sunsets while we were there as we were facing west.
We left in the morning, headed out the channel, out to the open Gulf, where we were going to make the 50-mile run to Cedar Key.
So we are trying to avoid crab pots. Crab pots are out here in the open water, and they have strings. They have these buoys on top, and then they have strings that ropes that go down to the pot at the bottom. There it is. So we have whole strings of them out here that we have to maneuver between and make sure that we don't hit. So because they would wrap around our propeller, and we'd have to get out and swim and untangle it from the propeller. We're pulling into Cedar Key, Florida. We're going to anchor up over here close to the sailboat. It looks like a cute little town. We anchored in the bay by the sailboat and then dinghied into town and had dinner at a restaurant. It was a very nice restaurant, and I was able to take pictures from the balcony of the restaurant. Had a nice sunset.
Nice evening. We ended up walking by the park, and there was lots of Christmas decorations out. Very festive. It was a nice little town, but we left the next morning.
So we're leaving Cedar Key, and there are these little islands, or I guess keys, all up and down this channel. Very tight turns that we had to make coming in and going out, but we're past those, and I feel a little more calm about it. Getting better, I think. I'm not as nervous about things. I understand how to do, I'm in charge of doing all the planning on the charts, so to get us someplace and auto guidance and everything. I tend to get a little nervous still. but I'm trying not to. We are going along at 8 miles an hour, which is about 7 knots or so, and so we're making our way today to Crystal River. So we have to stay within these markers. I don't know what he's doing. The markers are that way. Okay. I thought we were going outside the markers, and it's shallow closer to shore, but it's pretty deep out here. We only have like a 3.5 foot draft, 3 to 3.5 foot draft. So we can get into a lot of small spaces, shallow spaces, but I still don't want to run around. So we're going to, it's just pretty. We're going back offshore, making our way through the channel, going back offshore, and then we're going to go to Crystal River and see the manatees. I'm excited about seeing the manatees.
Here's the channel into Crystal River. They had lots of these little islands in the channel. These are not connected to the mainland, and they all had like a pretty little beaches. It was a beautiful day.
We're in King Bay, Crystal River, Florida. We are at the end of the mooring field. I accidentally put us in the wrong anchorage, but we were told by some locals that this is a prettier location because of this, because we have this view. It's very pretty out here. We're pulling up to the dinghy dock at Kings Bay Park. That's a circle. They said to look for circles for the manatee.
Back where we saw the circle and see if he comes up.
There's a swimming group coming. Is there one over there? Oh. This city park had a very nice dinghy dock. It was easy to get in and easy to get out, and it was basically in the center of town.
A lot of restaurants. We ended up doing a lot of dinghies here in Crystal River. It was about a 3/4 of a mile long bay. We were anchored on the opposite end, and the town was on the other end. It was good practice. We got good use of the dinghy and got used to getting in and out of it, and getting out of it on a dock, which is something we haven't done very much. But there are still crab traps around.
Crab trap. And there's a crab trap at 1 o'clock also. I mean at 11 o'clock. There were a lot of kayakers in this bay. They were getting close to the manatees this way, so it was a really an interesting alternative to swimming, obviously. I did like that there were some glass bottom kayaks. Basically they were clear, and they could see underneath them like a glass bottom boat. I really liked some of these houses. There was one of these houses that it looked like they had a garage for their boat. they were able to pull it right in.
You want to go back around over there?
Some of these areas, there were a lot of these canals that went up by the houses, and at the end of these canals were the springs. So there's a lot of springs in this area, and that's what causes, or that's what brings in the manatees. Is these springs are always bubbling out at 74 degrees. So the manatees live in the Gulf of Mexico until the water gets below 68, and then they have to go into warmer water, and they come to these springs because they are warmer.
And that's Sylvester Stallone's house, right there by where we anchored the boat. And we went up one of these little creeks, but it got even too shallow just for the dinghy. It was maybe less than a foot deep. We turned around and went back to the boat. And this was one of my bucket list things. I wanted to swim here. I wanted to swim. This is where they filmed The Creature from the Black Lagoon, so I wanted to swim with the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Is it cold?
But it was cold.
You getting out?
I didn't stay in long.
Yeah, you didn't stay long. It was cold in there. It's clear. We went to the Homosassa State Park. This is a little boat ride that we took down the river, little channel, going back to the area where they do the rehabilitation for manatees. So they take manatees that have been injured or have been orphaned, and they try to either rehabilitate them or get them acclimated to get put back into the wild. They have, at this time of year, when it starts getting cold in the Gulf, they have these barriers that they bring up so that the wild manatees can come up to the spring. And these were the first ones coming in. These were the mamas and babies, so that the babies could learn how to migrate at this time of year.
We went into town at night one night and went to a restaurant, and this is a little statue in the park there around the restaurants. It was very festive. There was lots of people out on the street, and we went out with another couple that have the same boat as us, so that was a nice evening. And then we took a boat ride at night back to the boat, obviously, from the dinghy, and there was Christmas decorations. It was nice.
Join us next week as we head to Tarpon Springs.